So the people who were there, those were the first ones really to hear about it. The struggle as far as, you know, at one point not wanting to leave my front door.
And can you, before you finish that, can you share what you do workshops with? Like what it is that you had a workshop, the reason you have workshops. What it is you do.
Yes.
Who are you, lady?
Well, if you don't know, I am Cherise, and I am the founder and CEO of Ellavate Life Coaching, where I work with single lady entrepreneurs to succeed in their life, relationship, and business. That's what I do. You can't hear me? I'm good. I gotta keep an eye on the time. So that's what I do, and I conduct free workshops. I try to do it on a monthly basis to empower ladies for free to do what it is that they love to do. One of the things that I talked about last time was that I did open up and share a little bit about the fear, the struggle that I had as far as stepping out. Like I was saying, at one point I was afraid to leave my front door because sometimes you feel like there's certain circumstances you can't control. But I'm very grateful because with God I was able to overcome a lot of those fears. There's still things I deal with today, fear-wise, still things that come up. It's not to say, oh, I'm perfect, I never have any type of fear, but it's a process, learning to trust God, learning to take steps even when it's not comfortable. So the first thing I want to do is define fear. And this is a definition. This is a good crowd. No problem. How are you?
I love when someone ministers to me. I don't have to minister. I love it.
This is you. And this is a definition on here that I often use. Fear. Finding evidence against reality. Finding evidence against reality.
Sorry if the lines aren't long enough.
They're pretty though.
Yeah. Can you pass
They're very uniform. I like it.
Thank you.
Reality.
Yes, finding evidence against reality.
Sounds like a paper I was writing.
And the reason why I like that, I've heard it said that fear is false evidence appearing real. But I like this definition because for those of us who do believe the Bible, we believe that there is an enemy. That God loves us, He's for us. There's also an enemy who doesn't love us, who is not for us. And a lot of times, He's going to find the evidence against reality. And a lot of times, if you could pinpoint your fears, a lot of times you could find out what it is that your purpose is in life. Because He's going to come at you to distract you. He's going to find evidence against what the reality is. And for those who believe the Word of God, our reality should line up with what the Word of God tells us. As far as being confident, as far as being more than conquerors, as far as God being with us everywhere we go. So that's A, find evidence of reality. B, fear is faith in the enemy's words. In the Bible, there's a book called John, and John wrote saying that this enemy comes to steal from us, kill us, and destroy us. That's his purpose, to kill, steal, and destroy. But God came to give us life, and life more abundant. He wants us to really live. He wants us to enjoy life, not for us to have the life sucked out of us by being afraid. In Romans 10:17, that book tells us that faith comes from hearing, and hearing from the Word of God. Fear comes from hearing the enemy's words. Fear is faith in what you don't want to happen. It's faith in what you don't want to happen.
Where am I on this piece of paper?
C.
Do you need me to go over it?
I'm just listening to what she's saying and forgetting about the paper.
B is faith in the enemy's words.
Okay.
C is faith in what you don't want to happen. Who or where does fear come from? It comes from the enemy's suggestion. The enemy has no power over you. If God is on your side, there's nobody that can be against you. There's no weapon, no obstacle that can stand against you if God is with you. But the enemy wants you to doubt that. It comes from his suggestion. The only power he has is to suggest certain things, to try to get in your head, to tell you you're not going to make it. When you step out, you're going to fail, you're going to fall. You're going to come up short. You're not enough. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not intelligent enough. You're too this. You're too that. Everything opposite of what God said. B, it comes from repeating negativity.
Repeating
Negativity. Sometimes it's very easy. I was talking to a client just yesterday about overcoming negative belief systems. And basically, when we talk about the enemy and his suggestions, it's almost like we took this paper and we went to a copy machine. And we put this paper in, and we press like 1,000 copies, and it just went and just keep going until it was interrupted. When the enemy comes in, he tells you certain things like you're not good enough, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall flat on your face, nobody loves you, nobody supports you, nobody cares, you're this, you're that, yada yada yada, unless you interrupt that with what the Word of God says, with something positive versus those negative words. You're just gonna keep copying more and more of those thoughts, and it's going to become overwhelming.
Meditating.
And then you're going to, exactly, you're going to end up being just like the copies that went through, even though you were made to be that. God made you to be not just a conqueror, but to be even more than a conqueror, for you to win in life, for you to be victorious, so that life doesn't beat you up, but that you know how to live this life. And He's for you. He wants you to succeed. C, fear comes from worrying, or like Demi said, negative meditation. Just worrying about things. Worrying for no reason. When you should be asleep in the bed, your mind's going, trying to figure stuff out. Thinking about the days to come, thinking about what could happen or what may not happen. Versus thinking of something positive before it happens. Sometimes that's easy just to worry, like, oh my God, did I pay this? Did I do that? Oh man, they're going to cut the lights off because I didn't pay it. Oh, dang it. You know, all this different stuff. It's like, oh wait, yeah, I did pay it. You know, I've done stuff like that. Just because sometimes that's that first response. If you're used to having that copier on repeat, just sending out those negative copies. Number 3, why does fear come?
Put another chair for event.
Fear comes to get us to doubt God's love and His Word. And why is that so huge for us to doubt God's love? Does anybody know?
Say that again.
Why is it so huge for the enemy to get us to doubt God's love?
To get us to doubt, because he don't believe in no love.
So that we'll doubt ourselves. Yeah.
We don't have to fulfill the purpose.
Yeah.
So that again?
So we don't fulfill God's purpose.
If you don't believe that someone loves you, will you trust them?
Nope.
And that's an area that I feel like I've been growing in. Certain areas where, you know, when I feel a little scared, a little nervous about something, or that something's not going to come through and stuff, just that thought, you know, thinking about somebody I love. Or would I leave my family member, or would I leave somebody in that situation if I had the means to help them out? No. Or why would God leave me in a situation of defeat? Why would God leave me in a situation of being left out in the cold, whatever it is, disappointment? Why would He leave me there if He loves me? And that doesn't mean that everything's going to come out the way you expect it to come out. But you can trust that if God loves you, it's always going to come out good.
Yeah.
One of the authors in the Bible for the book of Romans, in the 8th chapter, the 28th verse, it says that all things work together for our good. All things. Even when it looks bad, it's working for our good. If God is on our side, we win. Even when it doesn't look like we're winning. Even when we don't see where the finances are going to come from. God is our supply. He supplies our needs, whether it be love, whether it's affection, whether it's finances. God is more than able to supply. And if He has a supply and He loves you, what would stop Him from supplying? So that's one of the main things the enemy wants to get us to do, is to doubt God's love. And in doubting God's love, B, is to keep us from fully being who God created us to be, just like Bianca said. Number 4, how do we overcome fear? You got to discover and determine what is real. What is real to you. Has anybody seen the movie Divergent?
Who?
Divergent?
Virgin.
Divergent.
No, Divergent.
Hey, how are you? Well, I don't want to ruin it, but the way she overcomes certain fears is awesome. I would recommend it. You didn't see that one? Oh, darn it. It was a little movie. I love it, and I would love to go watch it again. I loved it. It was like action and like a little bit of like sci-fi, like, and then more action. And they got to wear cool suits. So it was awesome.
That's not.
The movie with what's his name when they enter into a dream world and they control it.
Inception.
Yeah, that
This one was somewhat similar to that. That's why I said But you got to discover and determine what is real. And for those of us who believe the Bible is what is real to us. In the book of Psalm 119, the author is David. And in verse 89, he said, "Forever your word is settled." I remember growing up, and if I wanted to talk back to my parents, and they were like, "No, it's settled. It's settled." End of discussion. When God says he loves you, his word is settled. When God says he's with you, it's settled. When God says he's got your back, that's settled. And sometimes that fear is going to come and make us question that. And think, well, what if? No, it's settled. Forever, his word is settled in heaven. It's a settled thing. B, another way we overcome fear is to know love. In the book of 1 John, it talks about God being love. He is love. And see, this is a big one right here for me. Guidance. It's to keep moving forward. Yeah, it's a line from Meet the Robinsons, one of the cartoons, one of my favorite cartoons. But it's awesome because even when fear comes, you got to push back. You can't just lay down, give up and give in. Even if you feel like you're sloppy when you fight back against fear, you got to fight back and push back and walk in your authority, walk in the power that God has given you, being the champion and winner that God needs you to be, and not allowing those, the comfort zones to close in on you, but to push back and live a large life out in the open. And that is all I have.
So, just for people who came in late and are leaving,
I'm trying to get my tea.
I wanted you just to go really quickly through everything again when she gets back, just to
Can I ask a question?
get a summarization of everything. Yes, we can ask questions, and then we're going to do a little exercise afterwards.
Did I stay in my 10 minutes?
You did. You actually had 15 minutes, so yeah, it's fine. But we'll wait till Yvette gets back while you guys are thinking of the questions that you have.
What if I have a
Oh,
question?
I know my question.
Then you can ask your questions too, huh?
I said I know my question.
You know what your question is? Okay. I love it. Okay, what's your question? Ask now.
Okay, so you was talking about. I guess I just want more detail in terms of the steps that you took in regards to overcoming your fear. You said that you didn't want to leave the house. How long was that for? How often did that happen? What began the process?
Okay, awesome. I remember, I'll go back to what started that process. I remember being at a softball party, a victory party. I ended up passing out and hitting my head.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up, long story short, upchuck, all that kind of stuff, nasty. I felt like it was nothing I could control. I still have a bit of a bump on my forehead. Right here, like, I don't know if anyone ever saw it. But I went face down into the concrete. Hey, how are you?
Hey, Kwanzaa, she made it. That's okay.
And
Can y'all
with
pass
that,
her?
it was a horrible feeling because I was like knocked down in different seven. To me, that was a pivotal moment because it was a moment when I realized there are things that I cannot control. And in that feeling of not being in control is where fear began to set in. Then I didn't want to go to school anymore. I would find reasons to call in, find reasons not to go to church. But at the time I was the youth pastor and I had to get up and I had to preach. So then fear would attack me when it was time to get up and preach. You're going to fall out in front of everybody. You know, you're going to be sick in your body just like somebody else in your family was sick. You're going to deal with this. They said that because someone in my family dealt with seizures. They tried to say it was a seizure, not the medical people, but my coach. Like, it looked like she had a seizure. It ended up that was not what it was. So then they're like, oh, it's probably because you're diabetic. Tested my blood was fine. It ended up being that I was dehydrated and passed out. You see how fear will play on your mind over and over. And so even though we realized my blood was fine, it wasn't anything to do with the seizure, still that fear was there because it wasn't one of the things I couldn't control. So for my my junior and my senior year, that was a huge struggle. Coming out here, I moved out here in 2003, December 2003. And it was a new beginning type thing for me. It was one of the things where I had to consciously find the word, even back before I moved out here and declare. Actually, my vocabulary started to get kind of big from my affirmations. I began to write down and declare, say it in the morning. I'm bold, I'm undaunted, I'm intrepid, I'm fearless, I'm fear-free. Even when I didn't feel like it, I was afraid as I don't know what. And then that was a time when the Twin Towers got hit. So then I'm like, oh my God, another thing I can't control. What if I go to school? What if they bomb my school? Like, why would they bomb my school? But, you know, fear was there. It was so real. And it made you think things that weren't even real, even affecting my diet. All I wanted to eat was Gatorade energy bars. I didn't want to eat food. So I felt like that was something I could control. I got skinny. Which would be nice if I could be a little skinnier right now. But it wasn't healthy. Those were things I began to do because I thought I could control with that. And a lot of people probably wouldn't know because they probably assumed, oh, she's an athlete. She's probably on the court, and that's why she was skinny like that. No, that's the only thing that I felt like I could control because if I ate something like that, I knew it wouldn't come up. I knew that that wouldn't be something. You know, it had the electrolytes in it and different stuff, so I was like, okay, you know, that's good. So that's what I was dealing with. But having to put the word on it. Put the word on it, even when I didn't feel like it. And there were times where, and I wasn't perfect with it. There were times that I gave into the fear. Plenty of times, but it was still that pushback. Getting up one more time and you go down. Just keep getting up. Fear doesn't stay in one aspect. It will jump, kind of like those whack-a-moles when you go to the thing, and fear pops up here, and you can conquer that. Then it pops up here, then it pops up here, then it pops up here, type stuff. And you're steady trying to hit it. Just when you think it's done, sometimes it pops up somewhere else. But just because fear comes up, just because somebody knocks on your door doesn't mean you have to answer the door.
That's right.
Just because fear comes your way doesn't mean you have to get into fear. You can still stand and make your reality, I am who God says I am. He said, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. He said, fear not. If you look to the Bible, there's plenty of times throughout the entire Bible where it says fear not. Or be of good courage.
I think they say that it's about 365 times that the Bible says fear not, which I think is good because that's one every day to not fear. Can you tell your other story about singing, please? Because I want y'all to hear this. One, because it is hilarious. But two, I want to speak about how other people will place fear on you. Go ahead.
Okay. So, school talent show. I want to say probably 5th grade, about there. I was a natural when it came to any type of sports. I didn't have to try. Even though as a girl, I was not picked last for anything we did PE-wise. I was like, you know, yeah, we want to receive, yeah, come on. So I didn't have to try sweatless. So I figured other areas of my life would be sweatless just like that. Well, a talent show came at school. And so all my friends could sing real good, right? All of them. Like, I've always had singing friends. And I just didn't know that I couldn't. I didn't know I wasn't developed in that area. I didn't know you had to develop. I was like, this really it can't be that hard. So I signed up for it. I did not tell my parents. I went, I found some cassette tape that they had at their house. And it was this older lady who was singing Southern gospel. And it was one of the only songs that I know a few of the words to.
Oh, this is bad. Already.
This is very bad. She didn't even know the
Southern.
Oh, gosh.
So, I signed up for it. And as the weeks are getting closer to the talent show, I still haven't prepared, don't know the song. I'm just like, you know, whatever. I'm just going to wing it like I do on the court. You know, you just make things happen. So, it must be like, it's like the day of the talent show. They're all sitting in the parish hall. I remember the metal chairs with the spotted paved, you know, the cracked up tile floor and whatnot. And I remember it's probably like the next person before me or a couple people before me. And then it hit me. I don't know the song. And I did practice, and yeah, there's nothing really I could do. So I remember finally they called my name, and you know, I was a little scared, but I'm like, you know, whatever, we're just gonna make this happen. So I get up, and the mic starts screeching real loud. I can't hear anything, but I know that the music at least started, so I'm like, well, I'll just jump in anywhere.
Oh, no.
5th grade.
What's that?
5th grade?
5th grade, or somewhere around there.
Right.
And so all I ever remember seeing was people's face, like they didn't know what expression to do. So initially I didn't know, was it a good thing or a bad thing? Like, am I really wowing them? Am I doing my thing? Or is that bad?
Self-confidence is at an all-time high. I respect that.
remember stumbling through that song like who knows what. I remember looking back and I remember seeing the principal and some of the male teachers back there. And I gotta show you guys what they were doing. If that was me singing up there, instead of them looking at me like this,
Like poor little Cherise.
they were inspecting the doors all of a sudden. So that's what we're dealing with. So I leave to go sit back down after it's all over. And you got the one. Right? So then people. And so I go back to my seat. On the way, I remember this guy, Abraham. He's like, dang, Reese, that sucked. You should have sang Pearl Jam or something. And so then, that's one thing that I don't get up and sing for anybody. I just don't. So I remember that was...
Yeah, but you also said that for a long time, that caused you just to have a fear of getting in front of people, period, and even speaking, yes?
Not necessarily speaking.
Not speaking,
to sing,
but not
yes.
singing.
I wouldn't
Okay.
get up.
I love that story. One, like I said, because it is so funny to me. But two, just how, like I said, how people place fear on you. Clearly, she was fearless at some point about singing, and it didn't matter if she couldn't sing, didn't matter if she knew the words.
Right.
She was fearless, but as a result of the reactions, it placed fear on her to do that particular thing. And I think that is one thing to definitely be mindful about when you do things. I think that it's really easy to be or stay confident when you get a good response.
Yeah.
But I think that when you don't get the response that you thought you would get or you want to get, then it's really easy to shut down and to shut out and to withdraw. And who's to say that God didn't want to use her as a singer? And I'm not
Like my ministry.
But that's not the point. The point is that how people respond can definitely change your fearlessness to doing a thing. And I just, like I said, I just think that it's an awesomely great story. So really quick, now that everybody's in, can you just go really, really quick down the list, and then I want to do a exercise. This paper.
Okay.
The
Number
other
one,
side.
what is
The
fear?
other side.
We said fear
Oh.
is finding evidence against reality. Finding evidence against reality. B, faith in the enemy's words. Fear is faith in the enemy's words. C, it is faith in what you don't want to happen. Faith in what you don't want to happen. I sound like an elementary school teacher. 2, where does it come from? It comes from the enemy's suggestion. B, it comes from repeating negativity. C, it comes from worrying. Why does fear come? A, to get us to doubt God's love and His word. To doubt God's love and His word. B, to keep us from fully being who God created us to be. 4, how do we overcome fear? Discover and determine what is real. B, know love. And C, keep moving forward.
So if y'all would please give another hand to Cherise for being our guest speaker on fear. Anybody have any questions for her before we move on to the... Okay.
I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more. You made a comment to get us to doubt God's love and His word. You said, if you don't believe someone loves you, will you trust them?
Sure. If, let's say me and Kima's my friend. But if I doubt the fact that she loves me, I'm going to begin to question her motives. I'm going to question, will she be there? I'm going to question, will she come through when she says she's going to come through? I'm going to, for me personally, I'll probably categorize her with somebody else. I'll push them out and be like, I don't think I can really trust you. I don't think you're going to come through because I don't think you love me. But if you flip that around, let's say my mom, I know my mom loves me. And I know from experience, my mom will do whatever she needs to do to help me out. She, you know, she's been there for me. That's mama. That's relationship. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm questioning whether or not you love me. I think you love me.
I think also care. I think that falls in that same category. If I don't know that a person loves, then I don't know if they care. You know, and so I can't trust them because I don't know that they care. So like you say, I can say all day long, you know, I think about kids and abuse. I feel like, you know, kids who feel like their parents don't care about them, they feel like their parents don't love them, and they can't trust them to do stuff. So they're not going to ask a parent that abuses them for food or whatever, because he's not going to care that I'm not eating right now. I can't trust that they're going to take care of me because they don't love me. Because it's all kind of the same to me.
I think that's good.
If that makes
And it
sense.
reminded me while she was talking, the Bible talks about, Jesus was saying that, you know, if your child asks you for a piece of bread, are you going to give him a snake, a poisonous snake? If he asks you for a fish to eat, are you going to hand him a rock? If you parents who have lived in this world and understand lack, understand evil, understand letdown, understand disappointment, if you've been through that and you still know how to love your child,
Right. How much
much
more?
more
Yeah.
will your Father love you? How much more will He provide when you ask Him? If we as humans who know limitations know how to love our children or love people, how much more will God love us who has no limitations?
I think also, just to piggyback off that, Sydney, I think for me and what I went through, I couldn't love myself until I knew how much God loves me. You know what I mean? And so, as a result, I would put myself in situations that were abusive to me because I didn't love myself, because I had no representation of how to love myself or that someone loved me. You get what I'm saying? Which will cause you to be inferior. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen because I'm out here fending for myself by myself. And so I think that that's also why love is really important to help deflect the fearfulness of things, because like you said earlier, it's settled. You know, He has an expected end. It's to do me good because He loves me, you know. And I don't have to worry, like you say, even if it doesn't look how I think it's going to look, or if it doesn't turn how I think it's going to turn. The end result is that He loves, you know. He loves. And that's my personal experience for love.
So does anybody have suggestions, like, you know, some people feel like God doesn't love them or they don't really trust Him? Anybody have any real suggestions on how to talk to someone through steps like that?
I do. It's actually funny that you say that, because I was going to talk about this later. But I think something that's synonymous with fear is worry. And I had somebody call me and say this past week, and I'll tie it back in a minute. I had somebody call me this past week and say, hey, do you have any suggestions on what to do if I'm worrying a lot? And I said, I do actually. I said, the first thing is, I believe you're worrying because you're fearful about something. I said, I know that in this Christian life, in this Christian walk, maybe in the non-Christian life, I don't know. It's like nobody can really say, I'm afraid, you know, without this big, like, stigma of, you are not supposed to be in fear. Oh,
Right.
it's real.
Yeah.
You know, fear is real. It comes. Like she said, doesn't mean you have to open the door to it, but it comes. And so what I told her, I said, you need to be honest with your feelings. I said, write down everything that you're afraid of. I said, and instead of meditating and rolling that around, now that you've gotten it out, list all the things you can thank God for. I think anybody that doubts the love of God is not thanking enough. Because regardless how many bad things you can name just as many or more things that you can thank God for. And when you can humble yourself to list and just see things from that perspective, somebody loves you. Okay, God, what if God don't exist? Somebody loves you. Somebody has been looking out for you. Something in this atmosphere has kept you from all bad things. And so that's what I would say to somebody who's worrying, in fear, or in doubt of love. How about we talk about all the things you could be thankful right now? It's a paradigm shift of what you're focusing on. You're focusing on bad stuff. You're focusing on fear stuff. You're focusing on what hasn't happened versus what has. And that, like I said, it's funny because I was going to bring this up anyway. Just in this, what are you afraid for exercise? What I want to do